So I just wanted to quickly do a video about how do I start, like really start a painting. So I often have a reference photo. Actually, I always have a reference photo. I almost never do anything without a reference photo. Once in a blue moon, but I have a reference photo. And so I, instead of gridding, I just use a projector and I get something that's real basic onto the canvas. It helps me just kind of see, even as I'm projecting, right? Like I'm projecting the reference photo onto the canvas and I can actually like move it around, see it, make it smaller, larger, right? So it actually allows me to kind of do a little bit of sketching, if you will, onto the canvas before I make any marks. So that's kind of a nice thing, right? So I do a really, 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 really basic outline. So I'm not drawing, you can see what this is, right? You can see this is real simple because I'm going to add in all the details drawing. So I don't want to use the projector to do the details. That's not the point. It's really just so that I don't have to erase. And, you know, if I'm just drawing from scratch, like there's just too many lines. And so this makes my life 10 times easier by starting this way. And then I can just use this as like a framework that I can just do all the details in. So this is going to be a painting of Persephone and Demeter in the Eleusinian Mysteries. And let's dive in. I'm going to show you what I mean when I say I'm going to draw in the details. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you want to learn more about what my paintings are about, I have a weekly Substack. The link is below in the description, and I would love to see you there. Thanks. Enjoy. So I've got my iPad. I sometimes actually print out a full color printout, the size that I'm going to be using as a reference, and I kind of just tape it next to it. That's a nice way it is a wonderful way to work, actually. And in some ways it is preferable because then you don't have to hold an iPad the whole time that you're painting. But I often just use my iPad for a variety of reasons. And I often set up an easel really close to the canvas I'm working on, and I will, it will be pretty close right next to what I'm working on at the time. And so I can just kind of look very easily from one place to the next as I'm working back and forth. But as I'm drawing here, I want this image to be really close, literally right next to what I'm drawing, and I want it to be roughly the same size. It is actually closer to the same size, but for some reason the angle of the video makes it look smaller. So I can really kind of see the detail of what I'm doing. I'm just, I'm working on it's still a basic outline on some level. I'm not using any shadow. I'm going to really leave that up to the paint. And when I start into the Mische technique with the red ground layer and then the first white layer. So I'm still drawing in pencil. There's quite a lot in this piece that I still need to sort out. And so I just want to make sure I've got it all in pencil first before I dive into the pen over top of it. And I'm just using a normal pencil here. You don't have to get super fancy. So whatever pencil kind of just works, good for you. That's what I would recommend. You don't have to, I find charcoal not precise enough. I want, really precise lines, and I end up just, I smudge the pencil all over the place. It's 10 times worse if I try and use charcoal. So This is my mom, and she has wonderfully veiny hands. She's always had veiny hands, but they've gotten, even more veiny as she's gotten older, and I love them, and I want to capture those veiny hands as much as I can. So here I'm just kind of drawing in these shapes, and like anything like this, like tree roots or branches or veins or, this kind of really organic shape. And that's, like a system from one part to the next, is a complex thing to draw. But, when you're looking at an image like this, taking little bits at a time and the relationship between those little bits from one to the next is a really good way to do it. It's how I draw pretty much everything, is by relationship. So I'm looking at where my pencil is and what I'm looking at in my reference photo. And then as I'm doing those lines, I'm just kind of going from what I'm working on to the thing that's in relationship to it the closest. And I'm then kind of working from there to the next. You can kind of see me pause a little bit, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm looking at what I'm doing, and then I'm looking at the relationship of the thing next to it. And the relationship meaning, like, does the line match up in a very particular part to the other line? Or is this shape in relationship to another shape that's right next to it? And where do those shapes connect? That's really how I draw pretty much everything. So here we've got, the hands are right at the center of this painting, so the hands are very important. And, they're kind of doing these really fun, kind of simple, but really kind of fun gestures, and they're holding things. And so I'm just kind of working in, and you see how I'm kind of checking what's actually going on with the lines. Just because you project something doesn't mean it's correct. And even though projectors are pretty good, you can still get it wrong when you're looking at it like that. And so it's very important to, and that's why I do it this way, because, the projector's one thing, but it's very important to actually, really look and study the thing you're going to be painting. The Mische technique, goes over the same, how do I say this, topography of a painting 3 times. And so you really get to know your subject matter. And so drawing it in this way is yet one more way to kind of get your mind and your body and your hand into the painting. And so as you're tracing, as you're drawing what you're seeing, and even kind of going over these basic lines that are there and filling in these details, it's really about having your mind-body awareness get into the space of what the painting is going to be. And so here we go. After much labor, I drew out the rest of the painting. There's still quite a bit of detail. This is only pencil, and I'm going to add the pen in later. So there's quite a bit more detail that needs to come in here, and I am going to be adding that in with the pen. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.